Boo here. Haven't uploaded in a while, so I put together some clips from the online 125k HCS Super. If you haven't heard, I am on G1, no longer a part of FaZe. We'll get on to that a little bit later, but I wanted to start from the beginning of the season. So we began the season going to Raleigh in December, placed third. Started off the season on a pretty high note. And then a couple months later, I think in February, we went to Anaheim, placed top 8, and then still feeling confident going into Kansas City. We did end up falling into top 6 as well. I think after that event, we all kind of knew like something needed to change, because the way we lost to 3 different like top 4 teams, we got 3-0'd, and so at that point it's like something needs to change. Did I know it was going to be me? Not really, but team changes were like bound to happen, and I tried my hardest to stay with Falcated, but just we're in a day and age where like if players could choose who they wanted the team with, like the entire pro team would probably look a lot different right now, because contracts are involved and stuff like that. I've always been the player to just come to terms with roster changes and being dropped. I just come to terms very quickly, put one foot in front of the other, keep moving forward. That's always kind of what I've been doing. That's what I'm gonna keep doing. So going into going into free agency, I pretty much got hit up by every team or org besides C9, Sentinels, and Optic. So initially I had like teams I wanted to run with and see how it went, and I did know I had like 4 months in between lands, so I did have the luxury of kind of taking my time. Keeping that in mind, I didn't want to overextend anyone's patience. Pretty much came to the conclusion that G1 would be the best fit for me, alongside of Pre-Devinator, Squale, and Switch 5. If you don't know anything about these guys, I actually went pro with Pre-Devinator back in Halo 5, if you remember, in 2016. We teamed on Denali Esports, and we only teamed for a short amount of time. It was like 2 events, but we got 2nd and then 3rd at the 2016 Worlds. So I had a pretty good amount of success with Devin, even though we teamed for only 2 events. And he's the kind of player I always wanted to run it back with him and see what we could do, but the timing was never right, the circumstances were never right. But finally, when I had the opportunity where I could potentially team with him again for another Worlds, and I definitely like the sound of that. And I think when you see a happy Devin, it's a pretty scary sight. We don't see it often, but I think with me joining the roster and him just being surrounded with like 3 solid Halo players again, he's pretty happy, and you can see that in his gameplay. And then we got Squale, Nate. I've actually never spoken to this guy until the first time running games with him about a month or a month and a half ago, and he has impressed me, man. Like, I didn't know what to expect going into it, but meeting him for the first time and running games with him, and just solid comms. He has intangibles of a winning Halo player. He's really smart and intelligent, just person in general, so that translates into his playstyle. So yeah, really happy to be teaming with him. Honestly, surprised he hasn't made more of a name for himself, but you know, perfect timing. We got Worlds coming up, so I'm definitely excited to team with him and for everyone to see how good of a player he actually can be. And then we got Switch 5s. This guy is probably one of the most dedicated pros, honestly. I think I play a lot, but then I check his games played and he has more than me, so that just says a lot right there. But yeah, this dude will literally do whatever it takes to win. I always say being on a team is like being in a relationship. Like, you got to be able to communicate to each other. You got to be able to work through any issues, any ups and downs. Like, it's going to be a roller coaster. It's just how like you can come together as a group and really like nail down the things that you need to figure out as a group. And I think with this group, we're pretty compatible. We connect. We can literally just like be stupid, and then when it's time to be serious, we be serious. Yeah, overall, really happy with the squad. We went into the HCS Super fairly confident. We were doing really well in scrims. Going into the tournament, it was going to play out a lot differently than scrims, but we ended up having a successful run, taking down some top teams, and you know, ending up with a second place finish. I think it's a good stepping stone for us, and we honestly learned a lot, and we got that experience that we needed going into the most important part of the season, which is going to be Worlds coming up in October. But yeah, overall, extremely happy with the team I am on. Getting dropped from FaZe wasn't a highlight of my career at all, but yeah, I couldn't be happier with where I landed, honestly. Free agency was like probably the most overwhelming I've ever been in my life. I just had so many different routes I could go down and so many different paths, and it's like I just knew whatever I did, whatever team I joined would likely like impact the rest of my career, because especially when getting dropped off a team, your stock kind of goes down as a player, because why were you dropped and why were these other players still on the team, and you know, this guy would drop, so obviously he's the problem. You gotta prove yourself like right after you get dropped, pretty much. Anytime you get dropped, you gotta bounce back quickly. Yeah, man, I couldn't be more excited to represent G1. They've quickly become one of the, if not my favorite org I've ever played for. Like, I've literally only been here for what, like a month or two. Like, we boot camped in Austin for a week, and we could just mess around and be stupid, and then when it's time to get serious, we get serious. It honestly reminds me of back when I was a kid, just traveling for soccer and for sports and stuff like that. Like, and then we got Kenny and Mac, Eli, like everyone is just a part of this thing. You know, it's not just us, a team. It's honestly it's a team effort from literally the management to the coaches to everyone. So even the doctor, we got like G1 has their own doctor, bro. Like, I'm honestly really grateful and just blessed to even be playing like Halo as a job, and then just being part of this org just makes it even that much better. So it's bigger than us. So for the HCS Super, a bunch of teams flew out to Texas, and the G1 facility is in Austin, Texas, which is perfect for us. I had to only drive 3 hours down there. Everyone came down for a week, and we boot camped, and then obviously played second. Had a good run. Kenny invited us to his mansion and had some hibachi chefs, and we pretty much just partied at his house for the day. So if you want to go check out the highlights and the montage from that video, go check it out on Kenny Vaccaro's YouTube channel. It's a pretty good video. But I didn't want to take too long. I know I'm distracting from the clips, so thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this update, and I'll see you guys at Worlds.
Power items en route. The lead. Victory. Ball dropped. The ball. Ball dropped. Oh. Oh my. Ball dropped. We have the ball. Ball dropped. Ball dropped. Enemy has the ball. Ball dropped.
Lost a teammate.
M41 Spanker available. Round 1. Perfect. Nearing victory. Gained the lead. Ball dropped. We have the ball. M41 Spanker available. Gained the lead. Ball dropped. We have the ball. Victory. No scope. We have the ball. Ball drop. Ball drop. We have the ball. Perfect. Victory.
Overshield available.
No scope. Double kill. Double kill.
Power items en route.
Ready. Enemy team took the hit. Perfect. Double kill. Perfect. Enemy team took the hill. Double kill.